Hello, everybody. We'll just give a few more minutes in case there's anybody running a bit late. I'll give it a couple more seconds anyways. We're getting better and better with our webinar setup here, but we're still in the early stages of the webinar here, but getting better and better at this. Perfect. So thanks so much for joining us today. I think to start with, three big thank yous, and one is thanks for taking the time today, and two, thank you so much. We've got a ton of really good responses to the questions last week about what type of products you used to shop at Paradiset, and any that were potentially missing from the past, and how you want to shop with us in the future. And we really appreciate that. And third, thank you for understanding, for your understanding out there with me doing this in English. I really appreciate that. But please feel free in the comment section to continue to post any comments in Swedish, and continue to email us at sortiment@paradiset.com in Swedish. It's no problem at all for me to read. And I've also got Johannes here in the room with me just to yell out if there's some good comments in there that I miss while I'm talking away. But today we thought we would, or I thought I would take a little bit of time to talk about the assortment and how we're going to approach the assortment for Paradiset 2.0, and how critical it is to have the community's input in that, and just some of the different ways that we're thinking about involving the community during the next few months, and then moving forward in the future on an ongoing basis. So good to talk to a little bit today. I think Johannes touched on it in the first webinar, but good to continue to go to this path of what it is that we're going to sell, a little bit about pricing, and a little bit about how we're looking at things in 3 or 4 different various stages. So the journey along the way. To start with, talk a little bit about pricing and the number of articles. So when we launch with 2.0, we plan to have somewhere between 3,500 and 4,000 articles. And to put that into perspective, if you shopped at our Maria Torget store, which I'm sure a lot of folks on this webinar have in the past, we had about 5,500 items in the entire store, and that included fresh food and dairy and milk and everything else. So this is a really good number of articles that we'll be starting with for our dry assortment. Our initial offering with 2.0 will be dry assortment. We'll be focusing on the dry assortment. And we will be focusing on that so that we can deliver to the entire country and keep things quite simple at the beginning. At a later stage, we are very excited because we're talking a lot right now about introducing farmers market drop or farmers market pickup, because we see a lot of input from folks about what they miss, and us also personally, what we miss from Paradiset's assortment is the fresh assortment. And we'll be working on that in stage 3 when we get down the road a little bit further. So let's talk a little bit first about how we're going to approach pricing. And we all know that we love great products. That's why we're here, and that's what we love to do. We love to hunt for great products, but we also understand we all have budgets, and we need to do things on a certain budget. And so part of the important part about being a member of the community is going to be your access to the products that you love from the past at minimum of 20% discount, and often more or less, but we're looking at about an average of a 20% discount right across the board. Of those articles, that we have, they'll be split into some different families here, and I'll talk through a little bit so everybody can have a bit of understanding what type of products we'll be selling. So first group of products, or first family of products as we call them, will be your standard grocery products or standard household pantry items. So there you can think of rices, grains, think of those great products from Kummarkatta organic rices, olive oils, pestos, pastas, etc. A lot of the staples as you would look at them. Next to an important category of health, and think there, of course, vitamins, supplements, training, etc. Then we'll have beauty, which will contain, of course, everything for hair care, body care, everything you can imagine that was under natural beauty, from toothpaste all the way to shampoo. Baby, super important, critical, of course, category for us. Think diapers, wipes, food, also some soothers, so think heavier, rubber soothers, etc. So that's another important category. We've got household. So I should say that those ones would be quite, I think most folks are used to those and have shopped with us in the past. And we'll also have a few that are a little bit unique. The next two we had before, but I think we'll expand on them even more once we're online. And one is household and lifestyle. And household being everything from organic conscious cleaners, so cleaners that are safe to use, to safe laundry cleaners, and also think different kitchen articles, things for cooking, things for helping you prepare meals. Then we'll also have a unique category for online, and that's providing bulk or larger packages. So we know both personally and from shoppers in the past that a huge request for larger packages, or family-size packages, as they're often called, of different products. So if you are someone who uses chia seed every single morning in your smoothie, or your overnight, or oats and your overnight oats, buying a small bag, even a 1 kilo bag, might seem at times a bit silly because you go through that quite quickly. So we're going to have huge focus on bulk as well, in providing a bigger package. And of course, also nice because if you're buying 1 5 kg versus 5 1 kg bags, it's a lot less packaging that's going out there into the world. And then last but not least, and super exciting, new category for us, which will be growing your own and do it yourself. And when we talk about, as we call it, GYO and DIY, a real focus on backyard and balcony gardening, seeds, all the type of things to make that work and make that function, make it easier. And then also do it yourself, make your own kombucha at home. So not just the products though, but also going along with the education about how to use these different products. So let me just look at my notes here so I don't miss something up to this point. So we've talked a little bit about the stages and the different stages we'll be doing this in. So stage 1, we'll be doing what Johannes touched on last time, which is the fantasy shop that we'll be launching in November. And that's where we're going to have a shop online and ready to go with about 60% of what the actual assortment will be when we launch, where you can go in and poke around in the site and do some shopping in order to, don't forget about the comments. I'm just getting some reminders in the background here. Don't forget to throw anything up there in the side so we can answer some questions as we go. But back to the fantasy shop, so we can continue to get your feedback on, okay, this works really great, or this doesn't work good, or I'm having trouble finding these products, or aha, those products are there, but they took forever to find, etc. So that by the time we launch, we'll be ready to go with a fantastic site. And then stage 2 will be the actual launch of the site, which we're looking at December and January. And that will be based hugely on your impact and your input. And then stage 3, like we touched on quickly, and really where it's going to be critical to have everybody's input, is on the Farmer Fresh, or the Fresh Connect, which is connecting folks together with great products, great fresh products at different drop-off points throughout the city. And those are the 3, those are kind of how we've broken it down internally here. And so I think what's really critical now, and today, these will get, I think as we go, these will be a little bit more interesting because we'll have more real products and real questions about, hey, what do you think about these 4 products? Would you be interesting? Here's some articles we're looking at, or some brands we're looking at. Which of these are interesting to you? Which of these appeal to you as a 2.0 shopper? And how great, getting questions in here at the same time. I'll answer in one second. And about how and interacting more with that as we go further down. So it'll get more and more interesting. And I think that's one of the really important things is along this journey. As you can see, we've got some unique pieces, and your impact and your voice in that's going to be critical. So one of the questions that is a big one today is, if everybody could think, how can I be involved? What would be interesting to me? Is it well, when there's new products, I would be interested in sampling and trying, or coming for a tasting, or no, that's a little too time consuming, but I'd be interested in doing a survey or giving my input through other ways. So we'll have a quick questionnaire, or even just a quick response request for comment after today about what works best for everybody, because of course we want to be respectful of everybody's time and get the most out of it. We got a question from Jonas here. Oh, perfect. We talked about that. It was one of the first things we talked about, exactly that, about possibility to buy a larger pack of items. And so the perfect example that comes to mind is if you use a lot of nut butter, and the nut butter comes in a 6-pack. Why wouldn't you maybe want to get the 6-pack, save a little bit of money, and they easily go into your cupboard, don't take up too much room, and everybody wins. Is our own assortment gonna? Yes. So Johannes is working on that as well. We are going to have different products coming down the road from our own assortment. Yes. Perfect. Just waiting to see if there was one more comment coming in before I keep going on here.
We could talk about the local farmers market that it's going to spread.
Yeah. So I think that's good, because we did have a lot of great requests for products that we still were fresh products in the emails you guys sent in earlier. So the idea right now for our farmers market drop point is really to connect farmers and our community and find different places throughout the city that folks can meet. So the thought so far is that we will create we'll make it so that you can shop online for those products. You can go in, you can add milk, you can add grass-fed beef, you can add locally produced tofu, you can imagine the products we used to sell. And then we will create pickup points throughout the city and work with the farmers so that those products can be, so you can meet directly with them during various different times. So it could be a pickup point in Lidingö every Wednesday at 3 o'clock. And that gives you the opportunity to order that stuff in advance and know what you're going to get. And also that we will be providing an assortment that fills out the whole shop. So you don't have to go out to Lidingö, but they only have, say, dairy products, but they don't have vegetables or milk or what have you. So providing a whole assortment in each one of those locations. It was going to be critical there to get everybody's input so that we can make that work. A great question, actually, from Jonas.
Let's see if we can do it.
Oh yeah, okay, sorry guys, a little technical. There we go. Thanks, Jonas. Yes, and actually, you even picked one of the. You're reading our minds, Jonas. You even picked one of the brands that we looked at, which was Primal Kitchen right away. So we actually are all set up and ready to go with a supplier in the U.S. who can supply us, who supplies Whole Foods Market, and so we're set up directly with them to be able to buy direct and get products over here to Sweden, and particularly like Primal Kitchen. So of course we want to be very, very careful. We aren't going to be ordering products from the US that we can find here in Europe. These are going to be new, exciting things that aren't currently available. And hopefully that one day someone can start making here in our own backyard or in our own market. But yes, to answer your question, we will definitely be bringing in some new exciting brands like Primal Kitchen. Can you think of anything else that I should add or wait for any more comments? Oh, do I get...
A new comment.
Oh, it takes a split second here. Hey, Nicholas, will the farmers be exclusively Swedish? That's a fantastic question. Yes, I think for the most part, when we look at the fresh, we're talking about connecting local suppliers or suppliers closest to that drop-off point. So when we get started, drop-off point in Bromma, that would be the first suppliers who are the closest, and again, reducing food miles. Down the road, when that grows and we have a fresh pickup in Göteborg or Malmo, then of course we would focus on having the products closest to that area. Hope that answers the question. Well, I think I'm going to end it there, and then we will send a quick follow-up after today. And the quick follow-up, really, it's going to be about if everybody can think, how do I want to interact? Now once we start moving forward and we start getting down to more of the nitty-gritty and the specifics, like is Primal Kitchen a good brand for us to bring in? How does everybody want to interact with that? How does everybody want to put in their help? What's doing? So again, thank you so much, everyone, for your time and your appreciation, their understanding of my English and our limited webinar experience here. So hopefully the sound and audio and everything else was okay for everybody. Thank you so much, and we'll talk soon.